I'm the big man, attorney Joey Franks, with Big Man Law here in Jackson, Mississippi. And today we are going to go and see Judge Middleton. We're dealing with an individual that they're getting him some mental health evaluations, but I think they're self-induced as opposed to occurring in nature. Take a look. We'll talk about it on the back side of things.
This is file number 241340, People versus Austin James Hovar. That's you, sir?
Yes, sir.
You're here with your lawyer, Mr. Ross Truckee. Mr. Truckee, what are we going to do here? Just plead to the charge?
Yeah, Mr. Hovar has indicated a desire to plead as charged.
All right, Mr. Hovar, you're charged with indecent exposure. It's alleged that on or about July 20th, you made an exposure of your person. That's a misdemeanor punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. I know that you've been struggling with your mental health. I did a couple of mental health petitions.
Yes, sir.
And you got brought in for evaluation. Are you still on parole?
Yes, sir. I'm supposed to be going to a first step. That's what we're trying to do. Go to first step. It's a psych foundation in Battle Creek.
All right. Well, I don't have any objection to that. You certainly need some mental health help. But this charge is a misdemeanor punishable by up to a year in jail, fine of up to $1,000. Do you understand the charge?
Yes, sir.
Anybody threaten you to get you to plead to this charge?
No, sir.
Or promise you anything?
No, sir.
You understand that by pleading to this charge, you'll be giving up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or jury. There will be no trial. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
If you had a trial, you'd have the right to be represented by an attorney. Mr. Truckee is here with you. You also could hire an attorney of your own choosing if you wished. If you had a trial, you'd have the right to have any of the witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to come to court so they could be questioned under oath. You would have the right to take the witness stand and testify on your own behalf. But you don't have to because you have a right not to testify. And if you did not wish to testify, the judge or jury could not hold your silence against you. And you have the right to be presumed innocent unless they were to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. This took place at the Country Hearth Inn on July 20th.
Yes, sir.
You're pretty distinctive looking. They can certainly.
Yes, sir.
And you and I met when you were 17 years old.
Yes, sir. And could I explain my side of the story,
yeah,
sir?
Well, they say
I'll
that
put my hand on the Bible.
All right, well, you don't have to do that, but they say you pulled your pants down.
Not at all, sir.
All right, tell me what happened.
I urinated in front of some females, and is what happened. I was at a buddy's house, and I was just smoking marijuana, sir, and we were partying, and I had a female come over, and the females at the Country Hearth at the other hotel room didn't like the female that I had come over. So now they're arguing because I have a female come over, and they're not mad at me. They're just mad because I have a female come over. And now the female that I have come over, I tell her she's got to leave because I want to chill with my friend that I'm chilling with. Well, now she leaves. Well, now the females are still mad because I'm there. And now they're there. Now that I got to leave. Now I walk outside, and now they're yelling at me, they're talking, and I didn't even approach no door. And it says that I approached the door. And it's what I'm going to tell you. And does this sound like anything I would say? But does that sound like a female?
I think you've established.
Okay, but I'm not going to say what she said.
Yeah, you don't need
But
to.
Well, they said you offered them some meth and a meal.
Meth and meat?
Meth and a meal.
No, meth and a meal.
Meth and meat, okay.
Meth and meat or meth and a meal? Okay, but it says that I knocked on a door, and then then she opened the door, and then I said, "Do you want some meth and meat?" Does that sound like something?
Well, at some point, did you urinate in front of these ladies?
So yes, I did. That's what I did. I urinated in front of these females, and they got mad at me, and they called the police because I urinated in front of them.
All right, well, that'll get us over the hump here.
Yes, sir, and that's exactly what I did, sir. I urinated right in front of these females and they got super mad and called the police on me.
All right.
And as soon as I walked out the door, that's
We
what I
don't need
did.
anything else, so I don't want you to say anything.
Yes, sir, but I'm very respectful. I have
All right, well, Austin, this could result in a violation of your parole. Your agent kept trying to send you back and the Department of Corrections keeps saying we don't want him back. But they're trying to get you into some sort of mental health facility?
Yes, sir. It's first step psych eval. It's a psych foundation, and then they're gonna send me to Bear River and Traverse City. And, sir, if anything happened, could you give me probation even? And this is what would happen. If you give me strict probation and you strict the reins and I'll do GPS.
Well, you're already
monitoring.
on parole, so I'm
Yeah,
not,
no, but this would even be a gift from God. You could give me probation is what they would do. I only have 4 months on parole. And if this happened before, they would discharge me from parole if I discharged from parole in 4 months. And then I have a job, I'll get a job, and you can strict the reins on the misdemeanor probation. And then I'll discharge from parole and just be on misdemeanor probation. And they would probably give me a chance and discharge me from parole early, just so I could, because I'm still on misdemeanor probation. And I'll pay all my fines. I got a job. I'll do good, sir.
well, you got another fine that you owe from a disorderly person that was earlier. And we haven't had a very good success rate on probation.
I promise you I'll do probation, sir. I promise
Well,
you.
You're under there is a very intelligent man.
I promise you, sir. Yes, sir.
And you've squandered a lot of it. When you were a young guy, I think,
I've grown up, sir. I just did 8 years in prison. I just got out. I promise you I'm a grown man. It's not fooling around no more. I don't break the law. Sir,
That's what the judge finished.
yes, sir. He's talking about my past. He knows my whole history, sir. He's known me
Yes.
since I was 17 years old. Sir, I'm grown now, sir. I promise you I don't break the law. I barely even drink anymore. And you know how drinking's been my downfall?
yes,
I barely even drink anymore. You know all I do now? Smoke weed, dab pen. You know how it's legal? That's all I do now, sir.
well, it isn't legal while you're on parole, but what you didn't need to get involved in is methamphetamine.
Yeah,
which-
that's over, sir.
all right,
That's
well,
over.
I'm gonna leave this up to Tracy Shaw, but she's got a detainer on you. And they've got a plan for you to go to 2 different facilities. You would be in there longer than I would have you on probation. So I'm gonna order 12 days, credit 9, giving 3 days to serve. I'm gonna waive all the fines except a minimum of $125 or 2 additional days. We'll provide this to your PO. Sounds
Appreciate
like
you, sir.
you're gonna get in, and first you need to deal with the mental health issues, then you need
Yes,
to
sir,
do with
but
the
it's not
substance.
so much, sir. And you've known me my whole life. I'm very respectful, sir. And these females, and dude, they could have cried rape on me. This is scared straight.
Well,
Sir,
I even knew you before you were
This is a
17.
big
You've always
deal.
been very respectful to me, but you're
Yes, sir.
killing yourself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Methamphetamine, sir. I'm done with it. This is scared straight. I promise you, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right, good luck to
Appreciate
you,
you.
Mr. Hovar.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
You guys, appreciate
Thank you.
it.
So this guy, he was caught peeing in front of women. Not the best look any which way you cut the pie. Frankly, I'm kind of surprised he could get any females to come around him that were not related to him. He's on parole, partying and having a good time in a hotel room, says that he is smoking weed, and he makes the argument that it's legal. The only problem being he is on parole, and the Department of Corrections does not want him in their system, so they're doing everything they can to keep him out. He's got 4 months to go, and he can't keep it together. I've played the whole calendar game with people before where they had a charge over here, so you needed to push it out far enough that you could handle the one back over here. And I get that concept, and clearly he didn't pull that off because he pled to the charge, but he's going to get some evaluations done at a couple different facilities. Judge Middleton cuts this guy a heck of a break. I get the feeling it's one of those deals that he is not even a mid-level drug participant, should we say, or drug dealer or anything like that. He's the low-level guy that nobody really wants tied up, that he doesn't have a whole lot of value as far as an informant or something like that to the authorities. Department of Corrections doesn't want him. It doesn't seem like the county wants him. Everybody is trying to bat him away. And the sad part about this is Judge Middleton says, I've known you since you were 17 and you squandered a lot of things. I've never heard a judge tell somebody that they've squandered a lot of things regarding their life. So that was pretty powerful. And it's really sad to hear about the guy, but I don't know what you do for somebody like this. You know, he says he's scared straight. They all get scared straight in that moment. It's kind of like you get a speeding ticket. You slow down for a day or two, but after a week or so, you're back into your old lead foot habits. It's no different whenever it comes to something like this, in my experience. As a side note, I've actually represented somebody on a very similar charge, and I did it just last year. It was indecent exposure, and they got a call that said that they saw a man get out of his car that was naked and drive off after getting back into his car. He gets down the road. They think they figured out the car, and they pull it over without ever looking to see if the guy's really naked in it or not. And when he gets out, he's naked the day he was born, with the exception of some shoes that he had on. So he wasn't breaking that law. Fun things, though. Worked out for him a lot different than it worked out for this guy. You have to have probable cause to stop someone, and an anonymous tip is only good if you verify the veracity of it here in Mississippi, and they failed to do that prior to pulling him over. If they pulled up beside him and looked in and said, oh, he's the naked guy, that would have probably been enough to pull him over. But they didn't do that in this particular case that I'm talking about. This guy admits to peeing in front of women, so it's a little bit different. I've really enjoyed it. If you figured out the meth in me, or you have anything else, please add it in the comments. I appreciate it as always.